she's speaking about.
Happening with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA is absolutely absurd. I actually think we're running into a bigger problem than people realize. If you're not familiar with what's going on, basically Caitlin Clark has been getting obliterated on the basketball court. It's very obvious that girls are coming for her. She's getting technical fouls for clapping. Just recently there was a player that literally was like pushing her in the neck, like punching her in the neck, like this is WWE. The bigger issue I see here is far greater than money. WNBA showcasing that when a generational, a once in a lifetime player who economists are literally predicting Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA is in the billions, you guys. When a girl of that much value goes—
Listen closely, because right now, every young girl watching the WNBA is getting a message loud and clear. And it's heartbreaking. The message? Stay small. Don't dare succeed too much. And never, ever pull your teammates up with you. Because the second you do, they'll come at you with everything they've got.
Clark and Alyssa Thomas situation is worse than the first one when she got a technical just for clapping. One thing about this internet, your boy John always say, it give it and it damn sure take it away. And that's exactly what is occurring with the WNBA. See, the WNBA didn't know how to survive and succeed on the success of Caitlin Clark. Well, something that they're about to go through is a boycott like no other. Fans are demanding something be done with this Alyssa Thomas situation, for it's criminal, or they're already canceling WNBA league passes. The viewership is about to go down. I'm expecting tomorrow game to be one of the lowest viewed games of the entire WNBA season.
Right now, Caitlin Clark is dealing with something way bigger than basketball. A league is working against the one player who's bringing in billions of dollars. Billions. And somehow, nobody's stopping it. The reason? Some players, some referees, they just can't handle how big she's become.
Season, if you guys been tracking the channel for a while, about how much these WNBA referees make. Now, at the time, it wasn't nothing. Some even got paid just $400 a game to ref these games. Now, a lot of these referees are NBA referees, but here's the thing. A lot of these referees come from YMCAs, high school. There is no like referee college or something. Now, there is courses that they take to kind of work on making calls. They take little things at the end of the season, have meetings, and they go over every call from the entire season that going to review. That
just look at the facts here, because the numbers don't lie. Caitlin Clark stands alone. No woman in basketball history has ever sold jerseys like this. Numbers that go toe-to-toe with NBA legends like Steph Curry.
Or happening because they don't want to be labeled an ist or a probe. Until people can get over their fear of words, this will continue. These are not mistakes. It is intentional bias against Caitlin Clark. It goes on to say, great stats here against Angelica WNBA. We would like to hear from you. How incompetent do you get to be before being let go? Just let her focus on dancing, probably what she was doing and why she missed calling the foul when 3 players was near Caitlin. This was at the game when Caitlin Clark was severely injured. I'ma have to say,
picture this. Games that used to barely pull 200,000 viewers on a great day. Now, she's bringing in 3.2 million by herself. Economists are crunching the numbers, and they're saying her total impact on the WNBA could hit billions. Billions with a capital B.
I just got to be honest with you guys, man. It ain't looking good for the WNBA right now. I don't think there's nothing they could do. They got to suspend her more games, bro, for them to try to save this league. They have to suspend her for more games. Something has to be done. I just got to be completely honest with you. We got posts like this. Somebody said, I stopped watching the WNBA 2 weeks ago. My wife stopped watching after last week. We canceled our league pass. There is nothing for me in the W. It may have been Caitlin Clark's childhood dream as a second grader to play in this horrific league, but I was an adult. I'm done watching this hate fest. And they got Kathy on there, bro. This is very...
Here's the entire rewrite, written as one continuous narration in English. Roughly 1950 words. Something is broken in the WNBA right now, and the proof is sitting on the bench in street clothes instead of warming up on the court. The player who rescued this league financially is currently out of the game. Not because she's injured from bad luck, not because she needs a breather. She's sitting out because the league flat out failed to keep her safe from what looks more and more like targeted violence on the floor. She's out because a game that should have protected her didn't. Out because the warning signs were there for everyone to see and nobody acted. Out because a foul that should have been an easy call somehow got missed completely. The same woman who filled stadiums, landed magazine covers, and put this league on primetime television is now watching from the sidelines instead of playing. So here's what's happening next. I'm done waiting around for the league to police itself. When the Fever take the floor against the Sparks, I'm asking every single fan who fell in love with this sport again because of her to join me. Turn it off. Lights out for Caitlin. Empty seats. Dark screens. Let's break down exactly what went down, step by step, because the details here actually matter if you want the full picture. During a recent matchup, Alyssa Thomas didn't commit your average basketball foul on Caitlin Clark. She made direct, forceful contact with Clark's neck, something that looked more like a wrestling takedown than a basketball play. 3 other players were standing right there. The referees were watching the entire thing unfold in real time. And somehow, unbelievably, not a single whistle blew. 0. Nothing. Living rooms across the country had the TV on, but barely anyone tuned in. Not because we stopped loving this game. We didn't. It's because we love it enough to refuse being silent when she's the one paying the price. If you've already bought tickets, sit this one out anyway. If you've never skipped a tip-off in your life, skip this one. If your kid sleeps in her jersey, sit them down and explain why the television stays off tonight. This isn't about punishing the Sparks. It's about sending one message loud and clear. This wasn't some split-second blur that happened too fast to catch. This was obvious. It was caught on multiple camera angles in crystal clear detail, and it left Clark in enough pain that she couldn't continue the game. And if you think that's the worst of it, hold on, because it gets darker. The 2 officials assigned to that game, Gina Cross and Angelica Suffren, aren't just 2 refs having an off night. They've got a long, well-documented history with Caitlin Clark going all the way back to her college days. And you know how fans react when something like this happens. They go full detective mode. What they uncovered is genuinely shocking. Fans dug up statistical patterns showing massive free throw gaps in games these 2 officials worked involving Clark. One game in particular stands out. The opposing team got 32 free throw attempts. Clark's team, the Fever, got 15. That's a 17-point gap in free throws alone in one single professional game. That's not a small thing. That changes outcomes. One bad game is a mistake. 2 might be coincidence. But when the exact same pattern keeps repeating with the exact same officials, that's not coincidence anymore. That's a pattern, plain and simple, and patterns don't lie. Within hours of that no call on the next shot, social media exploded with evidence. Hundreds of screenshots, detailed statistical breakdowns, side-by-side video comparisons showing questionable calls next to baffling non-calls. And what came out of all that digging was damning for the league. Let's be clear, this isn't a bunch of upset fans whining because their favorite player lost a game. This is people pulling hard data, showing that whenever Cross and Suffren are the officials, Clark gets noticeably fewer foul calls compared to literally any other officiating crew in the league. They're documenting contact that would draw an ejection in the NBA, yet these refs won't even call a basic foul. When you stack up all this evidence, you're left with 2 options: massive incompetence, or something much worse, deliberate bias. One fan summed it up brutally, saying these refs aren't even qualified for a 5th-grade rec league, let alone professional basketball. And honestly, when you look at their backgrounds, that fan isn't wrong. Most WNBA referees come from high school gyms, local rec leagues, and basic community circuits. Unlike players, there's no real developmental pipeline for officials to sharpen their skills. A few online courses, some Zoom calls, a quick review of controversial plays at season's end. That's about the extent of it. Compare that to the NBA, which runs a full-time, highly trained, well-paid officiating staff year-round. The WNBA, meanwhile, was paying part-time refs as little as $400 a game until recently. That gap in quality, it shows up on the court every night. But here's the bigger picture. This officiating mess is just one piece of a much larger problem. What this entire situation reveals is how the league actually views Caitlin Clark. Through their inaction, the message is loud and clear. They see her as an inconvenience to manage, not a once-in-a-generation talent to protect. Think about it logically. Here's a player single-handedly driving record-breaking revenue across the entire league. Ticket sales are surging, not just at home games in Indiana, but on the road too, where arenas that used to be half empty are now selling out in minutes. TV ratings are smashing every WNBA record on the books. Her jersey sales can't keep up with demand. Brands that wouldn't touch the WNBA a few years ago are now lining up with checkbooks open, desperate to be involved. This is the definition of a generational talent whose impact reaches far beyond the sport itself. And how does the league respond? They let her get hammered, game after game. They keep assigning officials with documented, mathematically proven bias to her biggest games. They hand out technical fouls for something as small as clapping in frustration, the exact same thing male players in the NBA do nightly without consequence. Then suddenly the whistles go silent when she's getting hit in the neck. They let Alyssa Thomas suit up the very next game like nothing happened, while Clark sits injured on the bench. The message to her is brutally simple. We'll take your money, but we don't actually want you here. Now here's where things get interesting, especially for the league's bottom line. Fans aren't just venting online anymore. They're organizing, they're acting, and they're hitting the league exactly where it hurts, the wallet. Almost immediately after the injury, Lights Out started trending worldwide. The plan is simple but devastating. When the Fever play their next game without Clark, fans are calling for a full boycott. Don't watch on TV. Don't stream it. Don't show up, even if your tickets are already paid for. The goal is to create a viewership crater so massive that even the most stubborn executive has to admit the obvious truth. Caitlin Clark is the reason most of these people are tuning in at all. And it's working. Fans are posting screenshots of canceled League Pass subscriptions by the thousands. Longtime season ticket holders are calling for refunds. Comment sections are flooded with people saying they're done, not just for this game, but for the rest of the season. One fan wrote that they flew across an ocean just to watch Clark play in person, and they're still choosing to boycott on principle. Another shared that their child sleeps in Clark's jersey every night, and they now have to explain to that kid why the TV is staying off. This isn't a fringe group of trolls. This is a massive chunk of the WNBA's brand new fan base, the exact people who discovered this league because of Clark, now making a coordinated financial statement. If I were running this league, I'd be terrified, because empty arenas prove that even someone who flew across the world understands something the league apparently doesn't. This isn't about giving one player special treatment. It's about basic fairness and basic player safety. It's about a league that begged for mainstream attention for decades, finally got it, and is now sabotaging the one person who delivered it. Here's why this argument is so airtight. Nobody's asking for Clark to be untouchable. They're asking for the same baseline protection every other star athlete gets. When LeBron drives to the rim, the whistle blows on contact. When Steph Curry gets held off the ball, the refs call it instantly. That's not favoritism. That's just how leagues protect their biggest stars. Right now, the WNBA isn't even giving Clark the bare minimum. And fans have the receipts. Side-by-side clips show Clark getting hammered with zero whistle, while another star gets the same contact and an instant call. Clips show Clark getting a technical for clapping, while another player screams in a ref's face and walks away clean. The evidence is everywhere, in high definition, broadcast worldwide. And here's the part that really matters. This isn't just about one season or one player. What message does this send to every young girl watching? That working hard enough to become the best, generous enough to lift everyone around you, and successful enough to generate billions in value, still gets you torn down the moment you shine too bright. That jealousy beats merit. That excellence makes you a target instead of a role model. That the very people meant to protect you might be the ones looking away. Is that really the legacy the WNBA wants? Because right now, that's exactly the lesson being broadcast to every kid who dreams of playing this sport. So where does this leave us? The league is staring down a crisis entirely of its own making. Every hour of silence costs them subscribers. Every day without discipline against those officials costs them trust. Every game Clark sits out while Thomas plays freely, the anger grows louder. The league has options. Suspend the officials. Launch a real investigation. Apologize publicly. Suspend Thomas further. Overhaul the entire referee training system. But will they admit that jealousy inside their own locker rooms is part of this? Will they confront the uncomfortable truth about why some players resent her overnight success? Probably not. But the fans already see it. They understand the subtext. They know this stopped being about basketball a while ago. The real question is whether the WNBA can get out of its own way long enough to capitalize on the biggest opportunity in its history. And right now, the answer looks like a hard no. Clark brought mainstream attention, casual fans, sold-out arenas, and billions in value. In return, she's been hunted, injured, and ignored. That's why this boycott is catching fire, because fans are saying, if you won't protect her, we won't support you. The league has a choice to make, and fast. Protect their star, hold officials accountable, and build on this momentum. Or keep stumbling down this path and watch the fans who saved them walk right back out the door. Because those fans don't owe this league anything. They came for Clark, and they'll leave for Clark too. Tomorrow's game is the real test. Does the boycott actually hit the ratings? Does the league finally wake up? Or do they double down and watch everything she built collapse? One thing's for sure, the internet builds you up fast and tears you down even faster. And right now, the WNBA is about to learn that the hard way. You don't get to profit from someone's brilliance while letting them get hurt on national television. You don't get to cash the checks her popularity brings while refusing to protect her on the court. You can't have it both ways. So here's my question for you. Do you think the league finally wakes up, or does ego and incompetence destroy the best thing to ever happen to women's basketball? Drop your take in the comments right now. I want to hear it. And if you're planning to join the Lights Out boycott, say so down there too, because the league needs to see this isn't just talk. If you want to stay locked in on every twist of this story, hit subscribe right now, because this is far from over.